Yo.
Yes, sir.
So, Murdad, what's going on, man?
I'm feeling golden.
Mm,
Feeling golden. Frozen golden.
frozen golden. I mean,
Frozen
it's got to be
golden.
one or the other, bro.
I mean,
You,
like golden ice cream is frozen, it's gold.
okay, okay. What about you, CJ? How you doing, bro?
I'm good, bro. I'm
Okay,
chilling, man. Thanks
okay.
for asking. How are you?
Ah, I'm doing amazing, bro. I'm doing amazing,
Amazing. Mm.
amazing, man, amazing. I think football, right? It's been a tremendous weekend. Some amazing games, amazing results. And what seems to be an amazing title race is what's on the horizons for us, right? So
Involving who?
involving who? Well, I mean, let's see here. Let me check the table. I almost tend to forget these things. So Arsenal first, followed by City, and then hold on. Oh, well, there you have it. A certain team in third. Chelsea. 11 games. Yep, all teams 11 games. So we all tied, and yeah, that is the result.
Wait. You're saying you're implying Chelsea's in the title race?
Of course, of course. At this stage, what? Are you kidding me?
So then, you would agree that Crystal Palace sitting in 10th place are in the title race as well.
That I could not agree on. I mean, there's 17 points, right?
9 points behind. That's three
Y-
games.
yeah, 9 points behind. Plus, right? Again, we have you guys at the end of the month, right? So that can easily give us a game in hand. And also depending on your next result, right, at Tottenham. So yeah, I think as opposed to Crystal Palace, we have our own destiny in our own hands, right? So
Wait,
that's
wait, 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 slow down. So, what's the criteria for why you guys are in title race and Crystal Palace isn't? Because Crystal Palace can say the same thing. We play them again. So if they take points off of us again, that's a 6 pointer. So destiny is also technically in their own hands if you're putting it that way too. So I just need to know your
wait,
criteria.
how many games did you guys already faced them, no?
Yeah.
This will be our first game with you guys, correct?
Hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, we have 2 games
So
to really yeah secure that. Whereas they've already. And what was the result with you guys in their first game? I can't even
we
remember.
beat them 1-0.
Yeah, you were there, fam. We all watched that one live.
Yeah, yeah. You see what I mean? Like
So what
it's
about Villa? Because we faced Villa twice in December.
Villa twice. I mean, 18. Yeah. I mean, they're in form. I'll give you that much. It seems like they're starting to play. But again, bro, I'm more so focused on the top four, top five, right? So Sunderland, yeah, you can agree with, but
So they're in the title race too?
Sunderland, I'd say Sunderland, as far as I'm concerned, for the immediate term, yeah, 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 you can argue that. Yeah.
So you're
Okay.
pretty much saying anyone who's on 18 points is in the title race.
Sunderland has 19.
I don't know, but you said top five.
Yeah, but even that, right? Like I was even hesitant to say that because again, that's Tottenham is filling in that spot. Although, y yeah, if you go 18, because that's one game, what, 21, and then assuming, I mean, it depends on how you guys fare, right? Again, like I said, you have Tottenham, right? Must win game for you guys. But if you guys do not win, you drop points. Let's say, right, that's a tie. Now that's 127, and then the Chelsea again.
And what if you guys drop points?
And that's one, right? We have our next game. We can easily win that. So 3, 23. So come out 24.
If you
24?
win.
Yeah, 24, and you guys would be around what, 28? If you guys were to tie the next 2 games, right? So then now we're like one game and a half. Around. Yeah. And then plus you got City, right, making ground. So overall, man, I think it just makes for a fascinating scenario where you have multiple teams at this point, right? It's pretty close. But again, I think you guys have all the work to do because if you guys don't make grounds, everyone else is gonna look to catch up, bro. We're like hyenas at this point, bro. We need
Yo, you
stuff
see, this is always on Arsenal somehow. Like, why is it we have all the work to do? You guys have the
because
work to do.
you.
We're looking down at y'all. Like, bro, you're acting like it's just guaranteed every game is 3 points for you guys. Like, what do you mean? You have
I'm
work to do.
not. I'm not saying that. I'm saying no. But what I'm saying in terms of like setting the tone, right?
We've
For
already set the tone. Look where we're at.
no,
People have to catch up to
uh,
us.
again, and again, bro. This was a game to me that you guys are up 2-1, and that's how you guys. That's the champions that you guys want to be, and you guys let another team come back like that. Come on, man.
I think that's
Come on, bro.
disrespecting Sunderland to the nth amount. Because Sunderland, they they played the game that Newcastle played 2 years ago against us at St James's Park. I think you're disrespecting what Sunderland has been doing and the type of game that they had. They haven't lost at home, so I think that's a huge disrespect and
For that, bro.
discredit.
Let's forget. Not too long ago, this same Sunderland side beat this man's squad in their own ground, sent them home packing in their own stadium. So come
But
on, bro.
we don't
Let's not
we
act
don't
like
we don't have the all-star defense, bro. We don't have
Yeah,
so.
the
But
but
you're
give
in the
it
title race. You're in
huh?
the title race. You're
No, no,
gonna
no,
be
no, no. But
Centurion.
hold on, right?
give it
Hold
$2
on.
billion
You you
squad and you don't have the
you
defense. Are
you
you
you you saw
joking?
you saw your man David Raya, right? How he was wasting time and doing all of that to try to see you guys through the final whistle, right? You guys were set up. All you guys had to do was just defend with your lives, right? And you had it 3 points, and you let it slip. So I'm just saying, man.
For the first time in 10 games, man. For the first
Hey,
time in 10 games.
hey, man. It's little mistakes, bro. It's little
It's
mistakes.
that's what it is, murder. Like all these rival fans, these ops are looking for any
They're
little
waiting
in
for
like
this.
begging, bro, begging.
They're begging.
Of
They're
course,
waiting for
of
this.
course, we're
For
waiting
this.
for you. Wait.
Listen,
Of course, we're
let
waiting
me
for you guys to
let me
slip.
throw some like numbers at you. And
Oh
yes,
shit.
before we started recording, we were talking about Karabakh, right? And how Chelsea weren't able to beat Karabakh, right? With a $2 billion squad. Okay. To put into perspective, Karabakh's entire squad value is 24 million pound. Okay. That's how much what Reece James gets, or that's how much Jao Pedro makes in a year. Okay. You guys couldn't beat them. And the team that you did beat this past weekend, Wolves, their squad value is 376 million pound. And to put that into perspective, that's how much you guys spent in one transfer window on like two signings. And then you're out here saying that, oh, Arsenal have the defense, blah, 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 blah. It's like, bro, you guys spent $2 billion and you guys still have the squad wrong. And then you're out here saying that because after 10 games, we drew a game where,
I know,
I
bro.
called
Mans are
it
acting
four or
like we
five,
fucking lost, bro.
yeah, 4 or 5 pods ago. I said, this is the banana peel game because there's so much context of this game. There's so much context of this game. And lost we lost to an unreal like display, an unreal effort by Brian Brobbery to get the ball over David Raya. He's falling behind and he does like a side bicycle kick. Like you got Gabriel all over you, and if you're able to hold off Gabriel and do that, okay, I'll put my hands up. Like, okay, good for you. But like, let's put it into perspective, eh? Like, they didn't come out like CJ messaged right in the group chat. They didn't come out to play football. They came to play American football. In the first half, the ball was only in play for half of it, 23 minutes. So like, this is exactly what Newcastle did to us a couple years ago. And the one thing that I'm actually mad about is if we had more technical players on the field, we actually could have changed the game a little bit more. But we didn't have the technicality on the pitch because we had so many injuries. But we still were able to come back. We still were able to go ahead. And they had one moment of brilliance that pretty much drew the game for them, and they stole points from us. But I'm still happy. We talked about it. We said in the next game from the last intro to this intro, if we get 10 out of 12 points, that's a success. And now everyone and their mother is saying that Arsenal is slipping the title race. Like, what? That was Pep Guardiola's thousandth. I can't even speak. 1000th game in charge. Of course, City's gonna rise up for that, man. Of course, the fans were gonna actually rise up for that game. And Arnie saw it. Sure, you won one game. You beat Real Madrid. Like, good for you. They're still coming to Anfield. You didn't do shit. Like, let's tone it down a bit. Chelsea's not anywhere close to being in the title race. The only team that I'll give respect to is City, and I would still argue that Liverpool, even in their shit form, they're more in the title race than a Chelsea.
Yeah, I'm more worried about Liverpool than Chelsea, 100%.
Like,
Well, there you have it, folks. I think at this point there is nothing much more that needs to be said in regards to Chelsea, and we will wait on November 30th, and we will let the talking be done on the pitch at this point. Because clearly, right? Clearly, I think you guys are quite high off whatever it is that you guys smoke in the locker room, in the stadiums, and you're convinced of your assured victory, right? Of your assured ascension towards gaining this title, right? This Premier League title that you guys have failed to win since 2004. And kudos to you guys. I mean, right? You guys perform at an exceptional level. But I think now you guys will understand, right, that the definition of stamina and of a marathon, which is in quote Pep's words, right, that he doesn't know if Arsenal has the stamina to go out and win this campaign. So yeah.
I mean, but
Yo,
we
do you
did.
know what?
Oh, sorry,
Oh,
Saint.
sorry. I was gonna say, Laurent, the way you were talking, you would think that you were like a City fan who has chest and has like, you know, the credit in the bank to speak, as if you were the one that won 4 of the last 5 titles, or like you were the one that just recently went like and won a treble, or heck, even done the Centurions that you think you're going to do this year. You know what I mean? Like, how is a Chelsea fan talking like this to us? I this is what I don't understand. Like, where does your confidence go? You're telling us that we're confident and we think that we've already won this title and this and that. We're riding this wave. Can you only imagine if you guys were in first right now? Because you talk with so much chest about Chelsea, and you guys have been losing at home to Sunderland, can barely get past the Carabao, and we don't even want to go back to your result even before those 2 recent results. You know what I mean? Like, where I don't understand where this chest comes from Chelsea. Like, you guys are still in your rebuilding phase, as you told us not too long ago. Like, where you think that you're a City fan or even a Liverpool fan who just won the title? You know what I mean? Like, where is this coming from on your end? That's what I want to know. Because I don't think we're, if any, at least like obviously I don't think I have as much confidence as Murda because he predicted us to win the Champions League and all that stuff. But like your level of confidence, you're saying that we have that level of confidence, but you predicted your side to go Centurions, still in this title race, gonna win the league. Like, where does this chest come from? That's what I want to know. Mans are benching something crazy, bro. Because you're, what are we smoking, fam? What are you smoking? That's what I want to know. Where does this chest come from, fam? Tell us.
All right. Well, I'll say this much. I'll say this much. I think we all have the right to believe in our own squads, right? Our own teams, even as fans, right? Season starts early in the season, right? I think we all think we can go out there and win it. If you were to ask fans from these other teams, right? I think even the other teams that are 18 points, where's that stuff? Bournemouth, right? Just 9th place. I think everyone has a chance, right? Everyone thinks they have a chance, and rightfully so. It's still early, 11 games. Um, the leader, which is you guys, right? 26 points. I think we all agreed that 13, right? 34. 34 points is the magic number, right? That's up to this point. That's the point of no return, as they say.
Well, I didn't agree on that, and I don't agree on that. But continue.
Well, no, I'm not like it's not even weird. It's just like that's the stats, right? Like every time it's happened, that's usually the result. And we realized that the one time it did happen, funny enough, that year you guys were both on 34 points with City, and City were the ones to make that come true, right? But no, essentially, like I said, right? Because it did seem like at some point you guys were confident in running away with this, right? Earlier on, I think 3 or 4 weeks back, when Chelsea, yeah, shit, where were we, bro? I think we were like what, 8th, 9th place, at that point. And all I was saying was, guys, it's not done yet, right? It's still early. You gotta let things happen. We will only see how the true board or the true standings are going to look like closer to the Christmas time.
Wait, have me and I just and I've correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm.
Did me and Murda come in here and say like acting like we already won it?
Y-
I just want to know,
Your
bro.
your way of going about it, yes, yes. It was almost like, yeah, we ain't got, you know what I mean? Like we're not worried. We're not worried. And that was at a point too when I think when City was there was a point where City wasn't even performing that well, right? And you guys were um around at the top, right? But yeah, man, that's the bro. If you're talking about fans, just go online, bro. Arsenal fans are thinking you guys have this. Like that's the theme. That's the word. That's the buzz. You guys truly think that this league is ours this year's, right? And that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, you guys got to wait it out. It's good to be first. You guys are again. I think all clubs have applauded you guys for performing. Now, right? We're just waiting to see. Like in Pep's word, do you guys have the stamina for it? That's the big question, right? And again, this is a result in a month that is actually very crucial because, like I said, your next opponent is Spurs. Murad is trying to make it seem like, well, we're not too worried about that. Fair enough. After that, Bayern Munich. After that, Chelsea FC. Right? So there's a lot of opportunities there, right, for you guys to drop further points. And at the same time, look who's marching right behind you guys. Right? The same city who's done this to you guys year after year. So I'm just saying.
Couple points, if I may. So you're talking about marathon. So it's been three years in a row where we've proven that we do have the stamina to get to the end, but we've had crucial moments. We've had crucial injuries that have derailed our title race, but we've been there. Chelsea have not, and it's always been a two-headed race. And in the past 3, 4 seasons, one team out of the three of us has been in and around there. So if we're talking about marathon, if we're talking about teams that can be there, compete in three competitions, um, Chelsea have not been able to do that since the Conte and Jose Mourinho days. You guys have been a one competition team for quite some time. So that's one. Secondly, we dropped 2 points where we all agreed that, not all of us, but I'm pretty sure CJ and I agreed that if we get 10 out of 12 points, we can live with that. That's a pretty decent run in the Premier League.
That's a
Um,
big if at 10 out of 12 points. That's a very
and
big
we
if.
and we were able to get it. We did it.
Wait, are you talking about like the all the games for the November or just up
No,
to
the
this point?
last intro lull I'm talking about.
The last four Premier League games that just passed.
Oh,
So we were talking about, we were saying, hey, if we can get 10 out of 12, that's a really good run. So if we're talking about like why I'm not scared and why I'm sticking with my prediction of Arsenal winning the Premier League is because out of all the teams this year, we've been the most consistent. We
Yeah.
we we've been level, and we're missing seven of our offensive players, and we're still able to perform. And when we come back from the interlull, we're actually getting all the players back. If we're going into this November run with this squad that we have right now, yeah, you know what? I would be concerned. I'd be very concerned because there's going to be a lot of minutes in like crucial players' legs in those first three games, right? Spurs, Bayern, Chelsea. But the fact that we're getting a lot of players back, looks like Kai Havertz is coming back, Odegaard, Gyökeres, Madueke looks like he's on his way back, potentially Martinelli, right? So we're going to get a lot of our offensive players back. So I'm not really concerned. And to be honest with you, like the only fans that I would take any like banter from right now is Liverpool and City fans. I don't know, CJ, if you're in agreement with me or not, but
Yeah, fully for sure. Yeah.
like any other fan that wants to speak up, it's like, know your place, you know? Like
I'll tell you right now, man. I already know where we stand, bro. That place that you're talking about, bro. All you have to do is look towards the jerseys that the players are wearing day in day out. That's the golden place where we sit.
the golden place that they struggle to beat Karabag.
Again, champions, right? Champions of the world. as you guys try to
with the
sit
best
there,
teams across the country not being
uh,
there. No,
again,
but if you're gonna say stuff like that, like we've already been through this conversation many
and
a
who
times.
did we beat? Who did we beat? Who did we beat? Just tell us.
A hungover PSG team.
Now that they're hungover, you're saying this like we don't have Brazilians on our squads, right? That our we know Brazilians have to party, right? But yeah, like
Yeah, but
bro,
that entire squad just won the Champions League and they were partying for like I don't understand what you're.
no, because you're saying hungover, right? We have players on our squad too that love to party, right? I'm sure the players probably celebrated a bit after the Conference League, right? Kudos to them. I probably wouldn't be out celebrating myself, but it is what it is, man.
You would be out celebrating.
It's a joyous time, but at the end of the day, bro, PSG knew what the deal was. They showed up on that game ready to play. They just got slapped. That's it. And that's the story. They got dealt with, right? So, and
If
we, hmm
okay.
no. So yeah, no, I'm just saying, man, it's cute, right? Like I think you guys are underestimating us, but it's the same team, right, that did that to the best team in Europe at the time. So yeah, man. Like I said, Chelsea, we have our growing pains at the moment. Um, but man, if you're talking about, oh, I wonder if Liverpool figures it out. What happens when Chelsea does?
But you guys don't have defenders. That's the issue. When you guys beat PSG, you guys had a healthy back line. You will not figure it out.
Bro, we had one of the defenders was that was healthy was Levi Colwill. I'm pretty sure that's the only guy.
That makes
An
a
important piece.
huge
Yeah,
difference.
yeah. Yeah, again, I said an important piece nonetheless, but at the same time, bro, it's football. Time doesn't stop just because one player is out of the equation. The manager just has to do his job and figure it out. And that's what we're all waiting for here at Chelsea.
But
So,
you know what it is?
mm,
Liverpool, like we know they have the squad and the experience and the winning know-how to turn it around. I genuinely don't think Chelsea is ready to go the distance in a Premier League campaign. As Murad alluded to it, um, and I've even acknowledged that myself. And like you said, that you beat PSG in a one-off game in a final. Chelsea's a good cup competition team right now, and they've always kind of been historically, right? They're good at cup competitions, you're good at in tournaments and whatnot. This current iteration of Chelsea, I don't think has the stamina, if we're gonna use that word, to go the distance in the Premier League. I just don't think they're good enough, right? Whereas Liverpool, we've seen them do it. They have the squad, they have the players. Man City the same, but I don't think Chelsea is there. Like
Experience.
you have
the,
to be you have to be. Sorry, let me just to finish on that. You have
mhm.
to be elite in almost in pretty much every position, right? You have to be. It's the fine margins, and honestly, we in ourselves have shown that with the goalkeeper swap. Something as simple as that, right? We all loved Aaron Ramsdale when he was here at the time, did a phenomenal job. We couldn't understand the change that he made at the time to bring in Raya as an upgrade on our former keeper Aaron Ramsdale. Right, they were both good keepers, but since then that has proven to be a masterpiece decision from Arteta because Raya is that key difference in tight games for us over Aaron Ramsdale. Even little things like being able to play out of the back, the composure that he has, which instills composure on the back line, and so on and so forth. Having a composed, solid keeper. I think even City is seeing it this year too. Donnarumma has been a presence so far for Man City. You know what I mean? So to go back on the David Raya point, it's little things like that that you need to fine tune in your team when it comes to being in a title race and to getting over the line in a title race. And obviously we haven't done it yet, but that Raya substitution, that keeper swap, had made a massive and drastic change to our team where we've gone from here, right, top four, maybe flirting with the top four, whatever, to now title contending, consistently year in year out. And that's what I think Chelsea's missing, those key pieces. Like you guys are close. I've said it. You guys are close, but I'm not concerned about you guys in a Premier League campaign title race over a course of 38 games because you guys are still missing areas that I'm not confident that you guys can deliver in right now with this team. Sanchez is still not for me. He is not the keeper that's going to win Chelsea a Premier League, and in your center backs are not either. I'm sorry. Even with everybody fit, you can throw your Colwells in there. You can throw Badia, Steele, whoever you want. Chelsea's current center backs are not going to win them the Premier League. And honestly, I was reading something the other day. Your wingers, right? As well, we talk about Arsenal's, wingers of the past and the Martinellis and the Trossards. Funny enough, those guys are stepping up this year, especially Trossard. But with all the money spent, right? I would love to pull up the tweet because it's kind of banter, and I wanted to put it in the group chat to show you guys. But if we're actually taking in with all the money that Chelsea has spent, they actually still technically have, with all due respect, mid-table wingers, right? Let's look at Chelsea's wingers: Garnacho, Pedro Neto, Gittins, these guys, right? It's not like we're talking about, elite cream of the crop wingers. Your wingers are good, but they're actually not. If we actually think about it, they're not world class. They're not elite. We're actually talking about like mid-table wingers that you guys have taken from mid-table clubs like Wolves and with all due respect, Man United right now they're a mid-table club. Um, it's nothing like you guys are still missing a couple key parts in key areas. Yes, I like your midfield, your central midfield areas with everyone fit, especially that has the capabilities to go to the top, right? Your fullbacks are very good as well, but center backs, goalkeeper, and I know you think your attack is great. To an extent, you guys still need to level up in your attack in certain areas, right? So I think that's for me my explanation as to why I'm not worried about Chelsea going when it comes to down the stretch. If we're talking about right now, of course, technically, mathematically, they're in it. Yeah, mathematically, right now, Sunderland is in it. Mathematically, right now, Bournemouth is in it. As I said previously, I'm looking in February already, right? I'm thinking who's going to be there in the trenches down the stretch when it comes down to it, the turn of the new year, right? So technically, all those clubs are still in it, but where I'm worried and where my focus is going forward is Man City and Liverpool, and I could be ignorant to that. Or long term, we could be proven wrong because it is the Premier League, but that's kind of my explanation. I've said this to you before, but that's kind of like my explanation why I don't think Chelsea is there yet, because you guys are still missing the fine margin key pieces in certain areas.
No, that's fair. I mean, I'll say this much, right? Right now, 20 points, right? Um, if we recall, 2 games, right? We have 3 losses. 2 of those losses, right, off of red cards. You guys recall? Man U, Bright, right? 2 crucial games, right? Due to indiscipline between amongst the players. One of them you could argue was quite accidental, right? I think it was our keeper Sanchez, right? The pitch was bad versus the Man United game, right? It is what it is. But right, it was 2 losses, red card scenarios, right?
Fine
So
margins.
it rightfully so, rightfully so, right? And you know, so you can only imagine, right? If those do not come to in the picture again, like I said, one of them most likely you can't do much about it, but the other one, right? Quite indisciplined. Players keep their composures. We have 11 men on the pitch. How does the table look like now, right? How many points do Chelsea have? You see what I'm saying? Now that's what, 2 losses you can argue for?
Sure, if we're going back to
Eh,
the context thing, that's
Yeah.
basically context. And to Murdoch's point, like what would have happened if Arsenal didn't have those injuries in the previous campaigns, right? No one's going to get their violins out for us when we lost the league because we had 100 injuries last season. You know what I mean? So
What
it's the same
happens
kind of
if
thing.
Sabosly doesn't score that goal?
Free kick, yeah.
No,
And
Like
again,
we can always
there's
talk about ifs and buts
yeah,
and whatever.
but it's like the one thing that we were even talking about a last pod, and that's why I'm like confused where this entire conversation is coming from is Chelsea don't have the experience on the field to be there in there and in about when we get to end of February, March, when Champions League is going to get more intense, FA Cup's going to get more intense. If you guys still are still in it, the Premier League is going to get more intense. Right now, the one piece that we haven't even no one's even touched on is the fact that the relegation battle looks like it's going to be a five-headed race between Fulham, Leeds, Burnley, West Ham, and Forest, right? Like those teams, when you go to face them, whether they're coming to you or you're going away to their home ground, it's going to be tough games. And are Chelsea going to be able to keep their discipline because clearly they haven't been able to? Beginning of the season, clearly they haven't been able to. This is what Arsenal struggled with a couple of years ago. So that's why it's not to discredit Chelsea just to banter you. Like it's just a genuine analysis of what Chelsea are this year. Same thing with Spurs. They Sure. Like, look at what they did. They thought they won the game. They lost their head, and then they give up a late goal to Matthijs de Ligt. There's certain things that you see. Yes, even it's only 11 games and no one wins the Premier League right now, but there's more that I've seen in a City and in a Liverpool than I have in a Chelsea to be like, oh yeah, Chelsea's actually in a title race.
I mean, let's be honest. With City, all we've seen is more so than not, we've seen Erling Haaland.
Yes, but we've seen Erling Haaland dominate without Ryan Cherokee, without Marmoush, without Rodri. So they're doing this now that they've got. I think it's been 3 games now that they've had their players back. But before that, they were doing that without those players. And
Yeah,
you
and you
yourself,
still have like, bro, like there's still a bunch of quality players on that squad, bro. Even
of
Jeremy Doku. Did you guys
of
not see what
course,
he did?
no, 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 of course, of course. But I'm just saying, like when you're missing all those players and you're playing 3 days in and out, in and out, in and out, still able to perform, and then you're getting reinforcements, that's only going to increase the level, right? Whereas Chelsea overall, like you guys have been pretty healthy,
No, I wouldn't
aside
say
from
that, bro. Our injury list currently is pretty extensive.
players that would get into your starting 11. I would say Cole Palmer and Levi Cole are the only two
Heck, even a guy like Latvia is actually a key piece, if we're being
to
completely
get
honest.
into your starting 11.
I'm saying a key piece for rotation purposes. Yes, that is a key piece. Let's
Okay,
not.
okay, 3 players, but we have like respectfully, Rodri, Cherki, and Marmoush are more serious injuries compared to that. And then from our side, Odegaard, Madueke, Gyökeres, Kai, Jesus, all more important. And Liverpool with Allison injured, definitely more important. Anywho's. Let's break down this game. I mean, we've already started to kind of break it down. Laurent's been giving us real good banter. He's been smiling all since we started recording 30 minutes ago. He's been just, giving it to CJ and I. It's okay, bro. Your time will come when you're wearing the full jumpsuit and, walking out of gatherings, resto bar, crying with your tail between your legs. It's all good, bro. Hopefully, it's raining that day and there's a little bit of a thunderstorm so you can, walk to the TTC all depressed and soaked. 'Cause, you don't know what's about to go down. Um, this was a game, CJ. This is the game that I said. This is the banana peel game with the atmosphere, with it being November 11th, and they were sorry, not November 11th, but for Remembrance Day, Sunderland, their tifos was amazing around the ground. Um, we did well to fight back. I think Lissandro Trossard, arguably one of the best finishes that I've seen so far this season out of an Arsenal player. Just taking that little hesitation step, opening up a little bit of a gap, and then putting it right past Royce to get us ahead 2-1. But man, that last goal, I I don't know who to blame for it, and I rewatch it over and over again. I don't know if I want to blame Gabrielle. I don't know if I want to blame our wing backs. I don't know like who do you blame for that goal?
Mm,
Like and and the other part of it is Sunderland did exactly what Newcastle did to us. I know I said this a few minutes ago, but Sunderland did exactly what Newcastle did to us. First half, 23 minutes. That's all the ball was in play. Like, surely, surely there has to be something done about this. Maybe that was a tactic. And I don't know if you guys saw what the advertising wall they actually
mhm.
brought it forward. Right? So like all these little things that teams have to do to try to get the edge on us. It's a compliment. But also like I'm more upset. I'm not upset about what they did. I'm more upset about the lack of reaction in this game. And I understand the physicality of the game, but after Marino took that hit to his head, I would have loved to see in the second half if things weren't changing, change it up a little bit. Like bring one Yeri on, put him in the right wing or left wing, put Trossard up top. Like do something to inject some more creativity into it because when they got into their low block, it was very difficult to break it down. And you need to cause a little bit more havoc because you need a mobile forward. That this game was screaming for a Kai Havertz because he would just pop up in the midfield and drag the defenders out of position, rather than a Gyökeres or Marino who just stays up top. Right, you need to cause a little bit of havoc and pull the defenders out of their comfort zone. So I don't know. Did you see anyone to blame for that second goal?
Yeah, definitely did. But before I give like my sort of breakdown on the game, because I have a lot of thoughts and comments on it, I want to ask you actually. You're very calm and relaxed now, obviously. So I'm not sure if your tune has changed or like you've calmed down 24 hours later or whatnot. But you were very angry yesterday, even this morning actually. So I want to know if you're still feeling that way now, and actually what upset you so much in the moment, because you mentioned us in the group chat right on a couple of occasions said how pissed off you are, you're not happy. I gotta be honest with you, I'm pretty calm at this moment in time. I'm pretty relaxed, which is kind of funny. It seems like the roles have reversed. I'm pretty chilled. I'm pretty relaxed. I'm not gonna lie to you, and I'll explain why. But you were very angry, it seemed, and you were very pissed and you were very upset up until even this morning. So why? What was your
I
reasoning? Like
think the
why?
re- I think we the reason why I was angry is because I think Arteta, not that he shouldn't have shown Sunderland that much respect, but I think he went over the top with some of the substitutions. Like, you still have to take the game to them. You can't, like, you know that that crowd is going to get up for it. You know that that crowd is waiting for the last, like, 10, 15 minutes for them to kind of go for it and, to push. So, to me, it's like, okay, I understand you brought on mascara, but why don't you bring on an outlet?
Mm,
You know what I mean? Why don't you bring on a one Yeri? Like, obviously, maybe not Max Diamond, but why don't you even bring on a Lewis Skelly? Right? Like, put Lewis Skelly in the midfield, right?
mm.
And then pop Eze up top. Take Marino off because at least Eze, Saka, and Trussard, they're a little bit more mobile, right? That's what I was getting more upset about because you know that they're going to go for it, but you're taking your most creative player off to bring on a defender to go five in the back. You're still keeping Marino up top, who's not mobile. Like, you don't have an outlet. It's not like you have Martinelli that you know that they have to respect the pace. They can just push everyone forward because they know our front line. Outside of Saka, they don't really have pace, and I would say like Saka has pace, but he's not that like threatening pace to be like, oh fuck, we actually have to like have two players, at the halfway line. They can push in and they can hem us in. That's what I was more pissed off about. I get the mascara, the substitution, but like, okay, take Marino off and bring on mascara, right? Because you can work around with that. You can drop Trussard in, or you can, you know, put Lewis Skelly on, take Trussard off for Lewis Skelly. Like there's so many different things that you could have done, and that's what frustrated me.
Okay, so you were pretty much upset with Arteta's game management then, in the second half at least.
As soon as we scored the second goal, yeah, yeah, I did not like this. I understood the substitution, but for me, it could have been, like I think Zubimendi was on a yellow, right?
Yep.
Like maybe you take off Zubimendi, put Marino with Declan Rice, and then put Lewis Skelly in there with them, and then put Eze up top, or put Trossard up top. Eze goes into the left. Like still have that creativity on the field so that they have to respect that outlet. When you take Eze off, it's like okay, as soon as they get the ball in the midfield, they're gonna try to dunk it over us and try to run after it, but they don't have the pace to do it. Because both Trossard and Marino are not scaring you for pace. Heck, all three of us can run faster than them. Like, so, so yeah, I guess it was more the management because I think he showed not that he shouldn't have shown that much respect to Sunderland, but I think it was like it's still Sunderland. They still just got promoted. Like, relax. Like, we're not facing you know Liverpool or Chelsea or City away from home.
Mm.
And also this morning I was more cheese because of the snow. I was like, fuck.
They needed some shoveling.
Yeah, bro. It was fuck. But yeah,
Yeah,
that
no.
that's that's why I was upset.
Yeah, okay. No, I was curious. I was curious to hear your take tonight. Even after yesterday when you were saying how angry you were, I was waiting for you to, come on here and give us your explanation. Because yeah, you seemed like you weren't happy. And to be honest with you, in the moment, I wasn't happy either, obviously. but cooler heads kind of prevail. Kind of thought about the broader picture, the bigger picture. Let's be real, right? We said this, 4 or 5 weeks ago. We really specifically called this game and we said this is the one that we could be concerned about because we looked at that, at the time and said, in all competitions, right? This was even before Brighton in the Carabao Cup. This was before, um, who do we just beat in the Champions League midweek?
Slavia
Slavia
Prague.
Praha. This is before all that. So we said, okay, looking at the next 6, 7 games, whatever it was, how many of those are we going to see wins in? Are we going to get max points in all of them? And we damn near almost did it, right? And you remember before that time, we sat here and I sat here at least and I said, it would be nice to go on and win every single game, right? Where obviously the Man City machine that did it under Pep Guardiola down the stretch a number of times, they've managed to do it. But realistically, right, this is football. We're human beings. These are human beings on the pitch. These are not, robots, contrary to popular belief, right? So of course, we're gonna win. We're gonna win games. We're gonna want to win games. But the game this just doesn't work like that, right? And look at that. If you look at our form guide, we managed to win pretty much almost all those games, bar one, right? Between the last international break until now, we were on a damn near almost perfect run, you know. Um, and so yeah, this is the one game where we dropped the points in the end. Um, but it's like shit, we didn't lose, right? So there's still that undefeated nature to us. And of course, like rival fans, we're giving it to Laurent back and forth, the banter about it. But rival fans like Laurent, we're just waiting for this slip up, right? Because
Mhm.
Arsenal's been on too hot of a tear lately, and it's like obviously the rivals are getting concerned, and there's a little bit of panic stations. To be honest, we got to stick together as Arsenal fans right now because it's pretty much us against us against the world. Let's be honest, and nobody out there wants Arsenal to win this league, for keeping
No.
it a buck So we got to kind of unite in this and kind of and back ourselves. But it's crazy because going into this, yeah, like I said, we knew the context of this week. We knew the fatigue that was going to be a factor. We knew the lack of players that we had at our disposal. This was always going to be a difficult game. And if there was one there where we were going to drop points, it was going to be this one. I think Sunderland has played us. Credit to them. That was probably our toughest game of the season. I include Man City in that. I include Liverpool in that. Both of those
Mhm.
teams sat off us a lot. Sunderland was our toughest test and our toughest game of the season, and they've shown so far that they're no slouches. Right, 11 games in, they're sitting in the top four of the Premier League or whatever it is. So I want to start off by saying that breaking down the game in its entirety. So the first half, um, yeah, it was not good enough from us. Definitely not good enough. I think it was your classic David versus Goliath match, right? And you even saw that with the goals that were scored. There were four goals in this game. The two that they scored were typical, with all due respect to them, the underdog approach in terms of how they could score their goals. Bullish, long ball, right? Typical Premier League mid-table club, with all due respect. Um, they that's how they got their two goals. Whereas ours, obviously, ours were pure quality, right? Just down to straight quality. Theirs, again, that bullish nature, that never say die attitude, long balls into the box, feeding off scraps, and they get their goals. That's exactly how it went down. If I'm being completely honest, but in the end, despite the disparity in quality on the pitch, the result ends 2-2. It's how it goes in the Premier League, right? But back to that in the first half. So yeah, of course they played like you said. The ball was barely in play for what it felt like. I was pretty frustrated with all the stoppages. Um, that's the kind of game they wanted to bring to us, right? They wanted to try and bully us because they knew we were going to beat them with quality on the pitch. So they wanted to make it an ugly, rugged game. That's exactly what they did. A couple minutes in, with Dan Ballard, who man of the match performance from him, by the way. He excellent game. He obviously was trying to prove a point. Former Arsenal academy player.
Yep.
We saw it in the first couple of minutes. That elbow. I mean, some would say that's a PK, at least VAR review. Outside the box, they tend to call that a lot. But there's technically no real reason for his arm to be way out there and challenging for the ball. So the fact that we didn't really hear much about a VAR review on that is concerning because I think that set the tone for the rest of the game. Right, players like, oh,
Mhm.
we can get away with little things here and there. We'll keep making this a scrappy, ugly, dirty game. You know, so that was contentious decision number one. Contentious decision number two is the foul that led to their first goal. Like Zubermendi's tackle, never in a million years is that a foul.
Yeah.
He gets the ball, um, and not only did this referee call a foul, he gives him a yellow card. Never in a million years, bro. Like I don't know, bro. Like we can sit here until we're blue in the face and keep talking about how shit these refs are. I'm just not surprised. But from the point that he calls it, we still have a job to do. We still have to defend it, and we defended it poorly. And both goals that we conceded in this game were just uncharacteristic of how we've been defending. That's been our bread and butter, right? Defending in our box, strong in our box. You're not going to get through us. You're not going to break us down in our box, especially. Um, this goes back to the human element of, like I said, all these clean sheets in a row. Laurent alluded to it earlier, making fun of how this great back line has conceded 2 goals in this game. But again, human beings, right? I don't expect them to do it week in, week out. That's the difference in terms of consistency. That's what separates the top teams and top players and the average ones, right? We don't see this on a week in, week out basis from Arsenal anymore. Two defensive mistakes, which are very uncharacteristic, which we don't see often in this game, managed to cost us. And
Yep.
in this one in the first half, Declan Rice doesn't jump with Dan Ballard. That's mistake number one. Doesn't contend the long ball, the high ball into the box. Second mistake is he lets him spin off of him, right? So if you don't win the first ball, it's the second phase of play. Declan Rice doesn't react quick enough. Dan Ballard gets up, wins the first header, reacts quicker to get the second phase. Gabriel wasn't strong in his duel with his guy. Dan Ballard, again, like I said, that bullish nature. With all due respect, they didn't break us down with quality, right? But it was determination. It was winning our duels. Arteta said it to the players at halftime. What we need to do is start winning our duels. That's what we didn't do in the first half, right? So that's how they score their first goal. It's just that sheer determination, that bullish attitude, winning their duels. They wanted it more, right? That was a typical center back's goal from Dan Ballard. Let's be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Ball in the air, wins his aerial duel, scraps, gets a foot on it first. Boom. He blasted that into the top corner. It was a center back's finish. Let's be honest with you. You know what I mean? Just straight power, straight bullish, rugged determination. And before you know it, yeah, we're 1-0 down from defensive lapse. Going into halftime, though, I wasn't too concerned, to be honest with you. One thing you can really see was the fatigue, I think, on the players, right? 3 away games in a week in Europe. This team has been barely rotated and rested because of all the injuries, especially in attack. But the way we turned it around in the second half, you can tell Arteta spoke to them, right? Because I think our quality shone through. 100% our quality shone through. And Declan Rice makes up for his error with the tackle that he wins high up the pitch to dispossess their player. I think Lefebvre or whatever his name is, dispossesses him. And again, mid-table clubs, right? This is what happens. If you make any of those mistakes, a high-level quality team is going to punish you. Look how quick we turn defense into attack. Rice wins the ball, gives it to Eze quickly into Marino. Boom, Saka's in and he finishes. And it was a great finish on his right foot, mind you. And all of our attacking players were poor in the first half, but you can tell they all stepped it up, right? And from that point on, when it was 1-1, I just knew we were going to get the second goal. To be honest with you, I was like, yeah, we're going to go on and do a Newcastle pretty much and kind of win this game. And it looked like, it was nice to see us kind of do it from a different lens. If we were to win that game, it's like we score the first goal, right, and then we see out the game, but it's like how does Arsenal go when they're concede first? Do they still have the mettle and the balls and the cojones, so to speak, to concede first and then turn around and then win the game from after conceding first, right? So it's all good. It's all good and well when we score first and we kind of shut up shop. But how do we respond when teams score first on us and then we react to get the 3 points there? And we almost did it, right? It was almost another again Newcastle-esque type of performance, impressive, turn around a 1-0 deficit. And yeah, like I said, when it went 1-1, I was confident. And there's obviously some chances before Trossard's goal, right? There was Zubimendi who hit the crossbar. As they had a good couple of chances in the box. But finally we got the breakthrough again with just sheer quality. There's no fluke or no luck or anything about our goals. It was sheer brilliance, sheer quality, right? Trossard's goal. It was coming, it was coming. I think at that point, the momentum was with us, and he scored a brilliant goal. And we have to big up Trossard because he's been, one of the players of the season so far for us in attack. When you think about this is somebody in a position that we wanted to upgrade for a long time, he stepped it up, and that looked like it was going to be the winning goal. And at that point, I thought we were going to see out the game. However, to your point, this is where I fully agree with everything that you said. Okay. Once we started literally retreating into our own box and defending for our lives as if this was like a relegation battle, then I'm like, okay, then I started getting concerned because what are we doing, right? Like, yes, we have to respect Sunderland, we respect Premier League's opposition, but at the end of the day, like they're a recently promoted side. We're Arsenal, we're top of the table. We do not need to fear. Like we retreated literally to our own 18-yard box and said, "Yo, we'll see." There was so much more time left in the game for us to start doing that. And I think I said this to you guys a couple pods ago. I said, It's all well and good when we're 1-0 up or we're only winning by a 1 goal margin. Like we're so confident in our defense that we think that we've won the game already at 1-0 or 2-1. Like we need to start killing the opposition and kind of step on their next one when they're down. You know what I mean? We get our second goal and it's like, okay, that's it. We'll shut up shop. We won the game. Like we should not have done that. I fully agree with that, with your point. And like, taking off Eze and retreating to a fully defensive system with so much time left in the game. I mean, they added on 7 minutes after 90, right? That there's just way too much time left in the game for us to sit in our own box and camp out and try and defend that. Like, I didn't think it was the right approach. It showed it was too negative. It showed Sunderland that, okay, look, these guys are, especially when we don't have a pacey outlet. Again, as you're saying, and that's why I really rate your analysis on that, because it's so true, right? Marino played up top for us, but I mean, shit, we basically might as well have been down to 10 men at that point, because he's not really playing up top. He's just doing shuttle runs back and forth. He wasn't an outlet for us when we won the ball, and he's never going to be because he doesn't have the pace to move. And then getting back into a defensive position, I mean, he was exhausted. He was running on eggshells, running on eggshells at that point. Like he was done, and many of our players were fatigued, and many of our players were done. And I think there were a couple key substitutions that needed to be made a little bit earlier. If we were going to retreat like that, I would say Marino, we pulled him out of the forward line to kind of play in that midfield zone. But again, he was tired. He couldn't even get around the pitch. So if you're going to do that and we're not going to play with somebody up top, get Marino out and maybe play with a Norgard, right? If you're going to shut up shop in that midfield area, get a little bit more legs in there, right?
Yes.
Because at that point, Marino is literally doing nothing for us. He's too tired to do the back and forth. He's not going to be an outlet up top because he doesn't have the pace. Get Marine. I'm really surprised Norgard didn't come on. If we're going to play that kind of game, get those kind. Isn't this not what we bought a Norgard for? These rugged games to see out, play in that defensive midfield area, break up play. That's what you signed him for. So I was really surprised he didn't come on. I was surprised Ben White or Hincapié, like those guys didn't come on. If that's really the game we were trying to play, then shore it up properly, right? But we made the wrong. He didn't get it right down the stretch, in my opinion. I've said it to you guys in midweek, right? We played Saka for 90 minutes against Slavia Prague. Why we did that, I'll never know. And then he played Declan Rice played 80 something minutes in that game as well. You can see Declan Rice was tiring towards the end. You know what I mean? And I strongly believe this. This is why I said if we're going to make a substitution, we probably should have added a Norgard in that midfield area. If you guys look at the second goal, they scored. So Saka blocks the first cross that goes into the box. It's a ricochet. It goes out to their center midfielder, who then put it in the box. But that center midfielder who put it into the box, I don't know if it was a center midfielder, but it was a player in the central area of the pitch who puts it into the box. That player wasn't closed down because we just didn't have the legs for somebody to get out to him quick enough. We were exhausted at that point, right? So we don't have the players to get out to that guy quick enough to close down that cross that goes into the box. And I believe if you have a Norgard in there, right, he can get out to the player quickly. But Declan Rice, Marino, these guys, they just didn't have the legs anymore to get out to the player who put that ball into the box. They're just way too exhausted. We're sitting on the edge of our own area. There's no way we're going to get out to him close enough to close that down. But lo and behold, that's what happens. The ball comes into the box, and this is where I'm going to single out a player, or maybe two players for the mistake. It's a combination of Gabriel and David Raya, and it's mostly on David Raya.
He should have come out.
Like, if as a goalkeeper, this is goalkeeping 101. If you're going to come out, you have to get there. Right? You cannot, there's no room for error. Once you make that brave decision to leave your line, you have to get the ball. And if it's anything else, you've made the mistake. I get that he's a proactive keeper and he likes to play on the front foot, but if you're coming out like that, you have to get there. And he didn't get there, and it looks silly in the end. Because if you think about it, right, Gabriel also was not strong enough in his duel with Robbie. Again, Gabriel had a poor game probably, especially defensively.
Very poor game.
For his standards, you don't often see him get pretty, bullied off the ball or lose first duels in our defensive box like that. But even if he loses that and Robbie gets his foot on it, it goes towards goal. Gabriel catches that in his hands, right? Stay on your line. If Gabriel is there, I understand if Gabriel's not there and it's a striker alone, maybe you have to gamble. But Gabriel is there, so even if Gabriel loses his duel, David Raya, you're on your line. You catch that, you hold that, you grab that. So that's my synopsis of the game. That's pretty much how I see it in terms of the mistakes, the errors that we made down the stretch. I don't think Arteta managed it properly with the substitutions and two defensive lapses that we don't normally see from this team. And I feel sorry for the boys because a lot of it was down to fatigue. Again, this is the same forward line that's been playing for the last 2 weeks, right? We're down to our bare bones in attack. We said it before this game. We had nobody off the bench that we could bring on in an attacking sense. So I do have sympathy for Arteta that way. But However, this is your part as a manager. You get paid the big bucks. We still needed an outlet up top. There's no excuse to not have that outlet up top to keep their defense honest, to give them something to worry about. Because every time we dash the ball out of our box, it
There's
came
no
right
way.
back because we had nobody. They had nobody, so they can squeeze higher up the pitch as well, right?
I
So
get the
even
game was physical. Sorry, Coach. Like I get the game was physical, but like when year this was a perfect game for Wanyeri. He doesn't need to get in those physical places.
mhm.
You just put Trussard to come in the middle, take Marino off, and you have him as an outlet on the left side. That's all you need him for. And if you really do not trust Wanyeri, put Lewis Skelly. You did
Somebody,
it
yeah,
last year with Tierney, and I think Lewis Skelly could easily have done that in the left wing. Just tell him, be like, hey, I need you to be in the midfield, but as soon as we get the ball, I need you to go.
yeah, just yeah,
Right? Like
somebody with fresh
put,
legs, yeah.
put pressure on their defenders, right? Like it was. I think yeah, he got it wrong, and I think that's where I was frustrated. Like you could have. I understand that we didn't have the attacking options, but you still had options that you could have gone to with the experience that you have in that back line, with the experience that you have in that midfield. You easily could have, for example, you could have taken Trussard and Marino off, put in Norgard and a Mascara. That would have
Mm,
shored it up a lot better.
yeah.
But before we move
Laurent,
on,
Laurent,
oh sorry,
I was gonna ask Laurent. Laurent, what are you smiling a few times over there? So I want to know what you find so funny, and then what your synopsis of the game was.
Well, I mean, I think for the most part, it is how you described, where it was more so not scrappy games, but you get those games, right? Even I think across two teams that are talented, skillful on the ball, right? Depending on how one team is trying to play the game, sometimes it comes down to that, right? They open the scoring. Um, Again, it was a well taken goal from their center back, I believe. And you guys second half up the gear, right? Dispossess their player in their half, and then Saka, I believe it was, right, converted that off of their mistake. But after you guys went on ahead, right? I think that's where, for the most part, I mean, you tell me if I'm wrong, but where Arsenal supporters, right? Because I know the word that's been used to describe Arsenal is a mature side, right? Showing, maturity and whatnot. Uh, and I think that that's what was required to at that time, right? To see the game out. Um, where, if we're being honest, I don't think that goal had any business, right? Their equalizer. Um, Going in. It's already right. It's the end of the game, pretty much, right? Just extra seconds being added on. Um, it shouldn't have been what it is, but now, right? Again, like I said, the other teams we're showing teeth now because we're seeing that in fact these guys are not invincible, right? I use that word um in quote there. And yeah, that there's a certain way to play, right? Maybe if you slug it out with them, right? You get them, you know, uneasy, make them feel uncomfortable, and then that's how, right? That's what it takes. And on top of that, also being very, very well drilled and disciplined defensively, because I think that was also what Sunderland displayed in that game. They were very, very well drilled. Um, to the point where they were forcing guys back because they're leaving very little gaps, right, in behind. The players are tracking, double teaming when it's time, right, recovering in possession if there's a hole anywhere. So yeah, I think good game overall, and well, from Arsenal side, you'd hope, right, that this is where it it stays in terms of drop points. But for everyone else, I think there's there's a template out there now in terms of right how to get at them. And it's like you said, man. It's the things that I said the lap is good for, right? Those elbows. Make him feel it. You got to make him feel it, bro. Make him uncomfortable, and then you take the game to them, right? But yeah, good game all around though.
It, to just put into perspective, we haven't lost since August 31st in all competitions. 14 games in all competitions. So
Is that when the Liverpool game was? August?
August 31st, yes.
Jeez.
So let's. I know we said at the beginning of the year we're like, well, we're not going to overreact, blah blah blah. So since the Liverpool game, we beat Forest, we beat Athletic Club, we drew City, we beat Port Vale, we beat Newcastle, we beat Olympiacos, we beat West Ham, Fulham, Atletico Madrid, Crystal Palace, Brighton, Burnley, Slavia Praha, and then we drew Sunderland. So that's 14 games in all competitions that were unbeaten. And I don't think, to be honest with you, Laurent, I don't think any team is going to play us like that again.
But like how Sunderland did.
Yeah. The only team that
I mean,
may do that is when we go away to City in April, depending on where the title race is at.
mm,
Because not a lot of teams have that physicality to match up with us. Newcastle does, Sunderland do, maybe maybe a Liverpool, but I think they're more technical. And then City, just because of the style that they play, they can match us up with like that. I don't think Chelsea has the maybe in the midfield you do, but in the back line you definitely do not.
I
So
think a Kukurea, uh, yeah, bro, don't underestimate Kukurea, bro. Like you guys keep thinking, just because he has like long hair, heads and shoulders type shit. Nah, bro, that guy's a dog, bro. Like,
there's no denying it, but I don't,
yeah.
but when we're talking about as an entire team, because you talked about Sunderland and the way that they were well drilled and organized, they were a unit fully moving together. There's 11 game sample size on top of the other competitions that has shown that Chelsea do not always move as a unit.
No,
There's
so that's
gaps.
not what I'm referring to, but in terms of like physical, like making this game scrappy, Chelsea can very well make this game scrappy.
They can, but they lose their heads because they don't have that calm head in the middle. Like they had Granit Xhaka in the middle to kind of calm things and keep everything at bay, right? And that's the thing that teams like Chelsea are missing. Whereas a City, a Liverpool, um, they have that calm presence in the middle of the field and in the back line. So, um, but the one question I had before we move on to the rest of the Premier League games, because we're already an hour breaking this game down, is um, so after the interlull, we have 8 games till the new year. 5 out of the 8 games are at the Emirates, and these are only the Premier League games. So we do have a couple more games here and there, but the Premier League games, we have 8 Premier League games till the new year. 5 are at home. So we got Spurs at home, uh, Brentford at home, Wolves at home, Brighton at home, and Villa at home to end the year. In between that, we got Chelsea at the Bridge, Villa at Villa Park, and then Everton at Hill Dixon. So knowing that we got 5 out of the next 8 games, I'll pose this to you first, CJ. What would you expect? All those 5 games, would you expect to win? So again, it's Spurs at home, Brentford, Wolves, Brighton, and Villa.
Geez, this is a big sample size of games. I mean, yeah, in a nutshell, I think the simple word is yes. If you're asking me what I expect, yes, because again, the level we're at now, where we've built ourselves to, the squad that Arteta has built, the investment, the money, the everything, we're now in a position 6 years on from his initial sign on that this is the time, right? All the phases that we've had and we've built, where this is the final phase. This is the final phase. We're there, thereabouts. So we should be going into every one of these games as favorites, right? Respectfully, I don't see Man City, a Liverpool, a Real Madrid, a PSG in this run. Respectfully, we've mentioned Spurs at home, we've mentioned Brentford at home, Wolves at home, Brighton at home, Villa at home. So a team who's gunning for a title, pardon the pun, um, should win all those games. A
Hmm.
team in a title race, a team who has high ambitions to go and win things, all those games at home, you win. Simply put, right? That's what the mark of a good title contending or a championship team is. You win your home games first and foremost. So in a nutshell, the simple answer would be yes.
Laurent, would you agree with CJ's analysis of that?
So you're saying full points off of
At
those.
home,
That's the
Mm,
expectation. Yeah.
that's 15. That's 15 points.
I can see a drop points on what's that? You said Villa?
Villa at home.
Yeah, I mean Villa seems to be quite in form as of late. If they keep up this run, it could be interesting.
I think Villa at Villa Park would be a banana peel, but
Uh, uh,
I don't think Villa at home because we face Villa December 6th at Villa Park, and then we face them December 30th at the Emirates.
yeah, but we're only referring to the at-home games,
I'm
correct?
talking about, yeah, right now I'm only talking about the home games.
Right. Yeah. And sorry, is this including not including the Liverpool game, right? Because that's not.
Liverpool's in the new year.
Okay.
We're just talking about all the games, the eight
Right.
Premier League games until the new year.
Yeah, no, so I mean for me it's all games. So Wolves, yeah, that's done and dusted. Brentford as well. Um
I wouldn't say that about Brentford. I wouldn't say done and dusted. I think it's
eh,
going to be a tougher game than we're anticipating. But yes, we should still win.
Yeah, man.
But it's not going to be a breeze.
yeah, but again, like I'm saying right, like those are 4 points for me.
Okay.
Um Tottenham, man, I don't know about that one, bro, if I'm being completely honest. And again, it also depends on what kind of Tottenham side decides to show up because they're so unpredictable. Um, some of those players, it's almost like they forget how to play, especially Xavi Simons, bro. Player of that quality,
He's better than Eze, some say.
I'm definitely not better than Cole Palmer, I'll tell you that much. But Brighton,
That's
though,
one player that you actually found that's not better than Cole Palmer. I'm proud of you.
sorry? Oh, who is it? Yeah. Anyway, Brighton, no, that's on December 27th. That's tricky for me. But I would say I'd expect all 3 points, but that game could be a pretty tricky game as well. Yeah.
Um, Speaking of the Spurs that you, for some reason, love, they went up 2-1. Richarlison thought he scored, took his shirt off with a tattoo of his face on his back and Neymar on his back because he thinks he's one of the best Brazilians of all time. And Sesko went off 5-10 minutes after that. And then somehow, Matthijs de Ligt scored back post. Did you guys see the goal?
Hmm.
Am I wrong for thinking that Vicario should have saved that? You got two hands on the ball, and you're positioning you're inside the net already. So like you're already inside the net going to make the save. Whereas if he had just stepped a little like half a step forward, he could have pushed the ball up and over the net. If you get two hands on the ball, you have to make that save. I was listening to oh my god, fuck, who is it? I was listening to a goalkeeper break it down. I forgot who the fuck it was now, but he essentially said the same thing. He's like, if you're getting two hands on the ball, like your positioning is already wrong. CJ, you talked about Raya's positioning wrong when he came when he shouldn't have come, but like you're playing so deep in your net, and keep in mind they're down to 10 men because they didn't have another substitute with Sesko going off. But what did you guys think? Did you guys think that was Vicario's fault or just an unreal header by Delict?
I thought it was a good header. I don't want to discredit his goal as well, right? A typical defender type header, right? Coming off the back post. You know, sometimes again, right? CJ said it, right. They're humans at the end of the day, right? They're not robots, even keepers, right? They can make mistakes, and kudos to him, right, for directing that on target at the angle in which it came. And yeah, if you guys are saying arguing for, well, yeah, keeper should have saved it, but sometimes it be like that, man. Like, a lapse of concentration, and that's all it takes.
Say the same thing, CJ.
Yeah, actually, it's interesting. I want to look at it back from the perspective that you're looking at it now to actually see, I guess, Vicario's positioning and see how much he could have gotten there. But I think, yeah, the proximity goes against him, I would say, without having a second glance at the situation. I thought, yeah, it was a good header, good back post header. Um, maybe, you're blaming the defending more than you are the goalkeeper in that situation. I don't know, but I thought it was a good back post header. And obviously, again, proximity to goal. He's quite close to goal, good, powerful, strong header. Um, I think more so good on Delic for the goal. But I will have a look back actually afterwards and kind of see Vicario's positioning there because it's interesting. I mean, if he's already in the net, why is he in the net? I'm wondering. Was he getting blocked off by the opposition player? Did he not have a good angle to come across quick enough? Again, was the
Here,
proximity in
let
the distance?
me see if I can share it for you guys so I can get a live reaction out of you guys actually.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, I just saw it right here. Honestly, it's and that ball moves fast, man.
Yeah.
Um, I mean,
Why
yeah,
can't I share my screen? What the hell?
Strong, powerful header like that too.
Oh, here we go.
yeah, not
All right, ready, CJ? Here it
Yeah,
is. For you viewers, if you're watching it, can you see my screen?
yeah.
So the licht is right here, and Vicario is right there. Just gonna play it back in a second.
Yeah, the proximity. I mean, look how close he is to goal, and then he gets a good strong
yeah.
header on it. The ball's moving quick.
Right here. Yeah, see, okay, this is where my issue is. He's standing right here, where when he started. Let me see if I can go back a little bit. So he's right there. Okay, you see where he is. All he had to do is slide down rather than taking the angle back this way. That's where my thought comes in from.
Mm.
So I mean, yeah, maybe I'm being too harsh, but those are saves that I've seen David Raya make, um, and maybe the positioning. But you got two hands on it, and some fans are saying that Vicario is the best keeper in the Premier League. I mean, with performances like that, you got something else coming your way. Um, Everton, my dark horse. Oh fuck. Oh, I don't. I mean, hey, they won 2-0. They beat Fulham. The question that I have from this game is Marco Silva the next manager on the block?
Yeah, it's not looking good for him right now, man. That's a poor run of results.
Because they're in the relegation battle. Well and true.
Yeah.
They're 15th, tied on points with Leeds, 1 point ahead of Burnley and West Ham, and 2 points ahead of Forest in 19th. I wouldn't be shocked if they have one more poor performance that he gets the axe. So, not looking good. Um, Another relegation. There was actually a lot of relegation battle games this weekend. West Ham beat Burnley 3-2 to keep Burnley in that fight. Callum Wilson scored to tie the game. Socek and Walker Peters scored to help them secure all 3 points. Still no movement at the bottom because of the goal differential. So West Ham are still in 18th, but it's starting to get tight down there. it's gonna make it very interesting. And a team that I didn't even think would be in the relegation battle that they may get dragged into one is Newcastle, sitting on 12 points in 14th. So it's gonna make it very interesting on both ends. Um, Laurent, your game. Go ahead, 3 points. What would you like to say about your dominant performance
Honestly,
against
man,
Lonely Wolves?
uh, really, I just want to credit Esteval, man. If I'm being completely honest,
Mm.
because as soon as he came on, right, that's when that spark was ignited. And if I'm being real, that guy stays fit. He plays a good amount of games this season, and he's an X factor for us for real.
Mm.
Just alone. Um, like he plays with no fear. Um, he knows how to slice and dice a defender, turning him inside out. No, he's the real deal. He's the real deal.
Are
So,
you so I'm assuming you're happy with that performance, and that's what you want to see when Arsenal comes to the bridge.
not the first half was a bit slow for us, if I'm being completely honest. We started to pick up towards the second half, but what I want to see is Esteval playing versus you guys on the 30th. And man, if that guy cooks, man, like who's that on his side? Um,
Cali Fury.
yeah, Calafiori. Nah, man. Nah, man. I'm telling you, if you guys see the way the guy moves with the ball, you will understand, bro. Like that's a Madueke cannot do that. It's a different art style. So yeah, no. Kudos to him though. Kudos to him.
Um, Palace Brighton. Looked like Brighton were gonna score last minute. I don't know if you guys saw the Brighton. I forgot who it was, but they
I
almost got
saw the
a
second half. Yeah,
yeah, they almost got a PK in the dying embers, and then VAR turned it around because he dove. I forgot who it was that dove.
Jorginho Ruta, I think.
Yeah, exactly. That's where I know with the last couple of weeks we've been talking about VAR and clear and obvious mistakes. Like that to me is a clear and obvious mistake. You know that's a 3 pointer, right? That the in real life and real speed, you're watching that, you're like, okay, yeah, that's a pen because there's three players that converged on him and someone had to get a touch, right? But with VAR, you can go back, look at it, no one touched him. He kicked his leg out. So again, no movement for them. Um, Palace are in 10th on 17 points. Brighton is right behind them in 11th on 16 points. So no real difference. But that was a good use of year. I know Laurent, you asked me a couple. I think it was last pod or two pods ago. You asked me like, "Oh, where would you like to see VAR used?" Situations like this,
Mm.
like that, to me is a clear and obvious mistake. Not when you're trying to, catch someone's toenail offside and say, "Oh, that's offside." Like what are we doing here? Like even with the penalty that we got, soft pen, still a pen, right? Like the Jeremy Doku one today. Eh, we'll get to it, but I could see it going both ways. I could see it not given, and I could see it given. Villa, you were talking about Villa, Laurent. 4-0 against Bournemouth. Bournemouth are no slouch, and to beat them 4-0, like it's worrying. Um, Question for me is, what happened to Bournemouth from second
Honestly,
place?
I think it's their defensive setup when they're on the attack. I think they gamble with too many players forward, or they're not as structured um, defensively. Like
You're saying
yeah,
like their attacking phase isn't as structured as their defensive
well,
phase?
like when they attack, like I said, I mentioned like they look like when they attack with numbers, right? And and that is all good and well if you're able to capitalize, right? But if you find yourself in a position where you're attacking like that, and because I think sometimes they only usually have three guys in the back. It's like everyone else is like pushed out. Um, at least that's how I saw it in a few of their games. And all it takes, right, is just you lose the ball, and then you're getting beat on the counters and whatnot. But yeah, no, that was not a good performance at all on their part. And
Mark,
at some point, it kind of felt like they kind of just gave up
yeah,
midweek.
it was more. It was after that Martinez saving Semenyo's PK that you just saw
Ah,
their shoulders drop, and I'm like, uh
yeah,
oh.
yeah,
That's where the that's
yeah.
where it
Good
went.
save though. It was,
Yeah, yeah, for Martinez, yeah, good save. Brentford. This was shocking for me. I don't know if it was shocking for you guys. Beating Newcastle 3-1. Dan Burton got his second yellow at the 73rd minute. Um, question for me to ask you guys is: are we seeing Newcastle's inability to handle midweek games in the Premier League? Because this is the rumors that were coming out about Isak wanting to leave is because he wanted to be able to compete in all fronts, and he didn't want to be like, oh, one year we're in the Champions League, one year we're out. Do you guys think that the midweek games are trying to get to Newcastle?
Yeah, for me, I think that's one of the reasons why I predicted them to kind of be lower end of the table this time around, right? As opposed to your top four, top five. I said I think the midweek games and having those extra European games will catch up to them. I don't think they're quite ready for that yet, right? They're not used to it as a club over the years, over recent times. Still trying to adapt to that, right? And their quest to be, one of the big boys in the Premier League is you got to be able to fight on all fronts, and they're still trying to figure that out and adapt to that in a season where they lost again their best player of the last couple campaigns. So I knew this one was going to be a struggle for them in that sense. So they're proving quite inconsistent at the moment. They have strong home form, and we're going to hope that their home form carries them well after the international break because they have Man City at their ground right after the break. So we're going to need a favor from Newcastle, to be honest with you. But yeah, they have very good home form both in Europe and in the Premier League of recent times. They've shown some good form at home. It's just when they go away at the moment, they're kind of shaky, and this was obviously a result that not fully surprising to me, but disappointing from their side, right? You don't want to be if you are trying to compete at the top end of the table, you can't be losing these kind of games in this fashion, so it's pretty disappointing.
Mhm. Last game before we get to the match of the weekend. Sean Deitch does what Sean Deitch does best. Forest at the City Ground. They beat Leeds 3-1. Like I said, it looks like a five-man. Maybe if Newcastle don't pick up their away form, may look like a six-man relegation battle from 14th to 19th. Wolves, I'm already saying that they're relegated. I don't think they have any chance at staying up.
Yeah, they're done so.
So not real much really to say there, but Sean Deitch just doing what he does best, keeping teams up. Um, now,
Let's see if he can do it. Like, where do you guys stand? I mean, it's kind of open at the moment, and it's nice to see that. Like I said previously, it's like the three teams that get promoted aren't going back down, right? Three straight back down doesn't look like it. Looks like Sunderland's going to stay up, and the other two, or Burnley at least, maybe even Leeds to a certain extent. Like a couple of them are making it pretty competitive. It's not a case of promoted and relegated for the same three sides. So I don't know where you guys seems to kind of change week in week out and where we land on who's getting relegated. I think we can all pretty much guarantee that or agree that Wolves is the 30 to get relegated. But I don't know. What are you guys thinking with the other clubs? Who looks in trouble?
for me, West Ham, Forest, Wolves are going down.
So Forest is still going down, in your
Mhm.
opinion.
The midweek, the Thursday night games are going to catch up to them. They're going to drop crucial points. And West Ham, there's something about them. I think there's some unrest, especially with the Paquetá situation. I don't think they're going to be able to keep him past January. Um, and I think Burnley and Leeds, it was just unlucky. Like Ellen Road is very hard to play at. I think they'll be able to string in a couple of results together, but I can't say the same for Forest and West Ham.
All right, what are you thinking?
Wolves for sure. Yeah, put West Ham in there. Forest, I'm not too sure. Yeah. Plus, I mean, yeah, it's like one win and suddenly what are they? 14th place? No, no, 15th.
That's if the other teams don't win. Yeah.
Yeah, assuming yeah. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go for me Wolves, West Ham, and probably Burnley. Yeah, I don't think Nottingham Forest is gonna end the campaign being relegated.
See, it's funny. I keep saying for some reason, I don't know what it is. I feel like West Ham will be okay. I don't know why. I still have confidence that they'll stay up. I think the Paquetá situation, as you said, Murda, I think that could change a lot. If he leaves in January, I think they're in serious trouble. But if he stays for the whole campaign, for as long as Nuno's in charge there, I think that they'll stay up. I think he'll keep them up somehow. To
Hmm.
be honest with you.
Well, let's hope because I love having London teams
Hmm.
uh, in the Prem. So it's it'd be unfortunate for them to go down. But last game of the weekend, big game, the biggest game of the weekend, Holland and City. They were dominant for Pep's 1000th game in charge. They beat Liverpool 3-0. Holland missed the penalty, but then he scored right afterwards. Holland, Nico Gonzalez, and Doku. Doku cooked Connor Bradley and Konate. Like, Jeremy Doku had arguably the best game I've watched him play. And yeah, what else is there to say? The only other thing that I didn't like is, did you guys see Van Dijk's goal that got overturned?
Hmm.
Bullshit. Like Robertson had no impact on Donnarumma's. Like he was not standing in front of Donnarumma. He was off to the side. Like he had no impact on that goal. I don't know if you guys see it any differently. I thought that was a bullshit call. Because if that happened against us, I would have been livid.
And that came out what was it, 2-0
It
at that
was
point?
1-0 at that
Oh,
time.
1-0.
Would have
Yeah,
completely
see?
changed the game. So I don't know what your guys' thoughts is, but I thought that was a bullshit call. That was VAR interference. Like I was like, bro, what? Like when I saw it going, I was like, wait, what are we doing here? What on earth are we doing here?
Yeah, man, but you already know, man.
You think
Rules.
you think it was interference?
All I'm gonna say, bro, is they brought it back for a reason. I thought it should I thought it should stand. Um, yeah, no, that's an unfortunate use of VAR in that case. But like I said, they have all these rules that they're there to. They're arguing, right? Line of sight, interference, in an offside position. Even though, funny enough, yeah, when you look at it, I don't think he's even well, most likely in his peripherals, if anything, as opposed to directly
Yeah.
in his line of sight. So yeah, that's
The question is he getting there anyways? If whether
no,
Robertson is there or
no,
not.
No.
no.
So then it should probably should have stood. If he's not gonna get there and it's not direct, obstruction of vision, yeah, if talking about it out loud, the goal probably should have stood, to be honest.
Yeah, but other than that, man, Salah, bro, that guy has to figure his shit out. Because if that's how you're walking into AFCON, my guy, yeah, no, you're not doing much. Yeah,
You're a big fan of Jeremy Doku, Laurent. I know you
of
are.
course. I keep telling you guys this, bro. Like, bro, this is the same Connor Bradley that faced up against Vinicius, right?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Vinicius, who's supposed to arguably the best left winger in the world currently, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, take notes. I'm telling you,
No,
bro.
he did well in this game, mind you. What's one thing I've said to you about Jeremy Doku is the end product or lack thereof. So after he scored today, I was actually shocked, but not really shocked, to hear that this is his first Premier League goal apparently in like 20 something games.
Yep.
That's crazy. That's not good enough actually.
Oh, can I
So,
show you guys the goal again? Van Dijk goal, so we can.
but his performance though, Doku's was definitely top class. If he can add end product to his game, he'll be one of the best wingers for sure.
You guys can see it, right?
Yeah,
So this is Robertson.
crucial time too,
And
37th
JD.
minute, right before
Yep.
half.
We see him walking.
Donnarumma points straight to him.
Yeah.
That's interesting though, as a reaction, eh? Because you saw Donnarumma pointed right when that went in. He pointed straight to Robertson.
I think it shows it again. If it doesn't show it again, I'll go back. Oh, it didn't show it again. Okay. I'm gonna try to stop it right when Van Dijk hits the ball. Right there. He's not getting there. And he ducks out of the way. Like,
No, that is very harsh, actually.
like, like he ducks out of the way. There's no way he was getting there. Look here, I'll just let it play through this time.
Yeah, that is
Like
very harsh.
that's if that I don't know about you two, but if that happened against Chelsea, and if I was a Chelsea fan or if I was an Arsenal fan, and look, well, I'm an Arsenal fan, but if that happened against us, I'd be fucking livid.
Wait, but you seen how he pointed to Robertson right after? You think that was in like the
Did it
instinct?
have an influence? Is
No,
that
no,
what,
no, no. Where he legit, like he blocked me off. Like I couldn't see. Because
no?
that
That's
was
bullshit, though.
you don't
Yeah,
think
but
so? Because
Doku was there too.
but what I'm saying is that reaction was so immediate that it kind of begs the question. Well, right? Because usually sometimes you'll see delayed reactions, right? If players are unsure of calls or right, they'll maybe try to like get like sell it like after the fact. But this was like as soon as that ball went in, right? He's like, yeah, he's blocking me off.
Yeah,
I don't, you guys
but
seen that, right? Like I'm not
I
just making
did.
that up.
But would you also not agree that like you just got to be stronger?
Who, the keeper?
Yeah, you got to be stronger. You got to protect your box. And if anything, I would blame Jeremy Doku for allowing Robertson to get that close. You see all the other times when the Arsenal players try to get that close, all the other defenders try to push them out of the way, and I would say 70% of the time they're able to get a foul because of it because they're tussling back and forth, right? So to me, like Doku's going with him, and why are you on the other side of him? Yes, maybe you're trying to prevent the offside, but like I don't know. I don't think he impacted. I don't think he impacted him at all. Like that's a very harsh call. Like that's one of those moments that I don't think that that's a clear and obvious mistake.
Yeah, well, honestly, it's not like it ended 1-0, bro. So
Yeah, but if it was 1-1 going into the half,
I don't know, man. Like,
completely different game.
hey, things happen. Like I said, when I was trying to bring up the Chelsea red cards, you guys, well, but ifs and man. So it is what it is, bro. It is what it is. After that, they had multiple chances. I think even Gakpo had a free line at goal, and he skied it. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Yep.
Um, yeah, it wasn't looking too good for them.
So not the result that those in the title race wanted, I would say. Um, and when I say those in the title race, I'm referring to the red half of London. Um, so
How about you look me in the eyes next time you pass off these smirky comments?
sorry, bro. First of all, I don't look man in the eye. Word to word to
Pause.
vibes cartel. Secondly, secondly, serious question though to you lads. I'll include you, blue half of London, even though you're wearing red, kind of. Is Liverpool still in the title race or not?
Yes.
Laurent?
No.
So it's a two-horse race then. Oh, sorry. Well, I guess not in your perspective. In your perspective, it's about a three-horse race or three or four teams.
Yeah, I think there's well, the other teams there.
Like if we're being serious, and
Yeah,
Liverpool's not in the race, then who's in the title? To me, it's a two-horse race, like a Arsenal City. But obviously you're including. You think Chelsea's in the mix, whatnot. So how many teams do you actually think is in the mix? If we're being serious, not mathematically, because again, mathematically, Sunderland, Bournemouth. Who do you mathematically think, or not mathematically? Sorry, who do you think is genuinely in this title race and going to be there for a good while?
as of right now and
Yep.
how the table stands, Arsenal, City, Chelsea, Sunderland. I don't know if this is just like promotion, like, when you just gotten promoted and you're off this
Yep.
high. Um, and then Villa is, they have a good manager. I think that's what they have going for them. He's a tactician. He knows what he's doing. Uh, plus, they only have one game a week, right? Villa?
No, they're in Europa League.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, so two. Yeah, so I'd say those teams. Liverpool, I'm not too confident they can get their act together at this point. Uh, yeah.
I actually tend to agree. It's funny because I said they were my favorites at the beginning of the season, but what I've seen enough so far to suggest that I think they're just about out of it now because the way we've been playing, right? Obviously, we're setting the pace at the top at the moment, and we barely even look like dropping points at the moment, right? Let alone losing games. So we would have to for what we've done so far, the way we're set up, um, we would have to drop 8 points somehow, and Liverpool would have to make that up without losing any more ground, right? We don't look like we're dropping that many points, much less eight, right? We have an 8 point gap between us and them. The way we're set up defensively, the way we're drilled at the moment, I just don't see us dropping 8 points and Liverpool making up that eight to bridge that gap. I think that's kind of too big of a gap at this moment in time. And so, yeah, that's why for me, I rule them out of it. And I genuinely think now, it's gonna be Arsenal City sort of down the stretch, which some would say this is not what Arsenal and Arsenal fans wanted, right? There's PTSD there with City. If you don't want any team chasing you, it's City. This is the last team that you'd want chasing you, right? Because it's Pep and it's because it's Holland. Been there, done that. Some would say you'd rather any other side but City, but we have that personal trauma and experience with City, kind of breathing down our necks and overtaking us in the end. So maybe that's the last team that we want chasing us. I don't know. The way I see it is, I think if Liverpool win this game, I think they still have the squad to figure it out and the momentum. Momentum carries Liverpool a long way. We've seen Liverpool win their last couple league titles off of momentum, and just that relentless sort of period where they just win games and you can't sort of catch them. But so I think if they had won, then it would have been kind of scary. But I think with the result today, kind of puts them out of it, in my opinion. I could be wrong. It's definitely still early days, but again, the gap in points, the way
But to
we're
me, it's
moving, yeah,
no, sorry, but it's not even just that. At this point, bro, the guy who performed for you so well last season, right? Forgot how many goals he even had for them, right?
Salah,
Yeah,
yeah,
bro, that guy is non-existent,
yeah.
absolute ghost, like, right? So,
Do you think he's saving himself for AFCON?
no, what the fuck?
No, I don't think so.
Nah.
I just have to ask. I just have to ask because some players, when they know that they're getting to the end of their career, they do anything and everything to be healthy for, you know, the national
Nah.
team
In fact,
competition.
bro, yeah, AFCON aside, bro, he's not showing up there either, bro. If we're being real, like, yeah, I it almost seems like he's just lacking the drive now. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you kind of see players, it's like they've checked out. Um, these little these little runs, like he's trying to do when he gets the ball like on the wing, right? It's half-hearted. You see what I'm saying? Like these half-hearted dribbles, trying to beat a winger, and then you fumble it. It's like, bro, that's not the Salah that the league, right, was introduced to all those years ago. I think for me, it's time, maybe after the season, he looks to play elsewhere, for being real, right? Or maybe in a Saudi league, right? Like Ronaldo says, it's But in terms of the Premier League, I don't think he has a heart in it for him to wanna up the bar, right? Because that's what it takes year after year, right? You have to try to up the bar with your own performance, right? But uh, he's not showing any of that.
Well, that's why they say Pep is so good because he manages to keep his players engaged and locked in year out. It's easy to get complacent after you win a league title and then, you kind of drop off, drop your level, right? That's a kind of natural sort of human nature. But for Pep to keep that team locked in the way he's done year in, year out, when they won four in a row and right, they go again. He tells them, "Okay, you won. Now let's go again next year, and let's go again next year, and let's go again next year." Like that's why he's one of the goats. And that's why again maybe his team has been in transition this year, even right. There's been some turnover with De Bruyne leaving in that. But again, from its Pep and from its Man City and Holland, I guess you can't really rule them out. But and although I say that this race now is us and them, they are still. It's not the Man City of the past, in my opinion, and I think they are still one Holland injury away from something going wrong there. I think this year more than ever, they seem pretty reliant on him. Maybe I'm reading that wrong, but it just looks like he's the one sort of carrying things.
And that's okay too, because the moment City drops off, right, you already know who the second horse is uh is going to be. So for now, it's all good. We don't mind staying in City shadows, right? Third place. You guys don't talk too much about us. You're not worried. But right, when Christmas time comes, right, we're known for bringing gifts. So yeah.
Oh. Well, we got the intro lull coming. It's gonna be quiet for the next week or so. Um, we'll probably have one pot out for you guys sometime next week. I was thinking of teasing like an Arsenal Emirates 11 and the Chelsea 11 to preview our clash coming up towards the end of the month, so that we can do a combined 11. Um, big thing that I'm hoping for is that we just get all the players back healthy for all teams, so that we don't hear like, oh, what if we had so and so healthy and stuff like that. So um, it's, again, just go to the interlull, come back. Let's make sure everyone's healthy.
Well, unless I'm mistaken, Chelsea already has an early excuse to lose potentially if they don't beat us, or Laurent has an early
What what
excuse, I
what
should
what
say,
is what early excuse am I gonna use?
because as we've teased before, once again, a
Cole
certain Cole
Palmer?
Palmer seems to be missing for this game
Bro, we don't need
somehow.
Cole Palmer, bro.
Mm.
Just put in Esteval, bro. We like I said, bro. Like Esteval, right? He played the 10th position there during Wolves, right? Like we're good. We're good, bro.
I would like to remind you, Wolves and Arsenal is two different caliber of teams, respectfully. But yeah,
Yeah, yeah. And Esteval is a different caliber of player, bro. So you let us worry about right. And there's a reason. Heck, even the great Arnie Slot mentioned Esteval when he was trying to find excuses for Liverpool, right? So um, overall, I think our squad as it is, right, we have enough talent out there to give you guys a game.
I don't
And
even think he would start actually. If against us, like I think you guys are going to start Enzo and Caicedo, and
and
if
if he
Enzo's fit, because I heard Enzo is crying injury too because he heard Arsenal's coming up as well. So, um,
no, it's more
but
so because
yeah,
he's not trying to play in um for Argentina, so he's trying to skip the international break and just rest, recover,
mm,
and play for the games that matters, as they say.
mm.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, like I said, well, I don't think Esteval would start for you guys against us. And let's be honest, right? Would you agree? 'Cause again, I think you'll start Enzo. I think you'll start Caicedo. I think you'll start probably a more physical, experienced midfield against us because you know the opposition, obviously, that you're coming up against, right? That's going to be a midfield battle that game. So I can't see Esteval starting. I could be wrong, but I don't think he would
I
start.
can see him starting the same exact lineup that he started against Wolves.
If he the thing with him, and even this is also given the fact that a lot of the fans are asking, well, why isn't he starting most of these games, right? When he's shown, um, right, that quality, and it seems like, if I remember correctly, Enzo Maresca's response to that was more so he's looking to protect the player, right? That's first things first, right? He's a young guy, and he's really just trying to ease him into the process, right? So everyone knows that he's quality, right? But I think more importantly, right, the reason why he has not started a lot of games that fans actually do expect him to start, right? And it's simply because he's trying to protect the player. Just not too much pressure, right? And you give him minutes here and there, and then you build him up until he's ready to hit the ground running.
Well, we'll find out. A few weeks.
But let me ask you guys: do you guys want him to start against you?
I don't care who you guys start.
Yeah, it doesn't
Oh,
really matter.
okay, okay, all
The
right.
only one I would have been concerned about is a Cole Palmer, and like I said, he's ducked out of this one again. So
Wait, but Cole Palmer, I heard that he should be coming back. I know he's gonna miss the international break, but apparently I think he should be back for that.
for the Arsenal game,
Yeah,
Maresca said he's hopeful that he'll be back.
yeah.
mm. Well, hopefully he does play, man. Like I said, you want all your big guns in for that game against us, man. I don't know why you
Where
kind of walk in the park you think it's going to be against us, but
listen, I'm hoping for Odegaard too to show up, right? Maybe he puts his skirt on right this time around. Would hit would
ah, that's funny, man.
But no, in all seriousness though, I do hope for a quality game, and let the best team win on that day. Um, but you already know, bro, that anything for you guys other than a result, uh, that at that point you guys are opening up a can of worms you guys would not want to be opening this early in the title race. So I'll
Mm.
just leave it at that.
Mm.
Because you already know, man, right? We're not second here, right? So if you guys don't get the result and City starts creeping in, then that anxiety starts to creep in for you guys as well.
I'm gonna end the pod with this. It gets very lonely at the top.
Yeah. Yeah. If you can stay there long enough, right, to feel that loneliness, sure, I'd agree. But yeah, I think you guys have felt this standing, right? Or this level at this stage, and when we come to the end of the season, for whatever reason, you guys do not keep that place. So let's hope that this time, uh, um, it is indeed not next year FC.
All right. Netflix FC. Adios.